We're recording. Okay, super excited to be here with Christine Savicki,
Hello.
Sapphire, right? Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus on her 4-year anniversary. So exciting. And it's super exciting to be here because I was just talking to you about what I was doing 4 years ago. Obviously not joining Plexus like we should have.
Yeah, well, life was, we didn't really know a lot about Plexus then, right? So
I guess. You knew enough though, girl. You guys, I cheered you guys on all the way through. So I'm super happy that finally I woke up and joined you. But okay, so I basically want you to since it's the day, rewind 4 years ago and tell me, I loved the whole John Maxwell thing about how, there's levels of leadership. So everybody that I've interviewed on our team at this point, I've asked, okay, so when you started 4 years ago today, where do you think your leadership level was at that point?
Okay, so if we're going to talk about the law of the lid, there's 5 different.
Yeah, right.
So, there's so many different levels of leadership. I don't know that I can pinpoint one of them, but as far as the law of the lid goes and the position that I was in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not going to say this to come across as being anything other than humble. Okay. And
right.
Honest.
Absolutely. No, total honesty.
But I think that I was a combination of levels 1 through 4.
Right.
And kind of where I stopped. I got there really, I was there because I was a combination of them. I really flew through, the first 9 months of my business.
Right.
So when I started, level 1, people are following you because they have to. People were definitely following me because they had to, because there was no one else. Just like Amy, her and I started, there was no one else. New York had never heard of these products. And so I was all really that people had. And as far as Plexus goes, I did not know what I was doing. But as far as, being a leader, I did have some leadership skills only because of how I lived my life, basically, up until that point, and experiences that I had in my personal life. Mm-hmm. And in my work life, I guess, also. So at that point, I was definitely a level 1. I was a level 2. People were following me. I put everything out there. I'm a relationship person. So people were following me, and people were loved being on my team in the beginning because they wanted to be. I still pride myself on the fact that I do love people. I love to build relationships with people. Also, at the same time, I was producing results, right? So people were not just following me because they had to, or because they wanted to, but because I was leading by example, and my team was exploding. So part of, the third position is production, and I was producing results. So people wanted to be a part of it, and we were having so much fun doing this. So people wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I led by example back then, which is something else that I continue to do now. I don't do it because I didn't do it then because I had to, and I don't do it now because I had to. It's just how I get the job done. Mm-hmm. I have to.
Right.
So I was a 1 through 3, and then level 4 basically is where, I did a really good job at recruiting, and I still do a good job at recruiting. But level 4, at that point, it took me a while to get past level 4. Level 5, the respect, I think I had people's respect I made it to Emerald in the first 9 months, and I think I had people's respect because of my work ethic, because I was leading by example, because of everything else. But I was actively recruiting, at least 3 ambassadors a month. But I was not recruiting leaders. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, you know, probably from when I turned Emerald, Sapphire, maybe I turned Sapphire within like, I think 14 months.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Wow.
you know, and then things kind of stayed where they were.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this business is that you can outrank your sponsor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my business kind of slowed down. And now I have 2 diamonds underneath me, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But my business slowed down because I needed to learn how to recruit leaders better.
Right.
I was good at recruiting. I just wasn't recruiting the right people.
Right. Well,
So-
you're Sapphire, so that's pretty remarkable because that you're recruiting somebody's doing something if you're Sapphire in 14 months. That's amazing. That's amazing. So how did you how did you 4 years ago cast that vision? You know, like how did you, obviously you joined Amy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Amy's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Amy are totally different,
Mm-hmm.
but you joined, right? You joined. And so like, how did you take that and cast it to your team to create this explosion? Because you created an explosion.
Honestly, I think it's just my personality because again, you know, I had been working, I didn't know until Plexus came along what personal growth and development was, although I had been working on it for 20 plus years. I didn't know that was the name.
Right.
Term for it, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, when these products were introduced into my life, I needed them desperately.
Mm-hmm.
And I also needed the business. I was an accountant and I quit my job when Brody was about 2 to stay home. And that took a really big financial, you know, affected our family financially. So I would like pray like, oh my God, what can I do? Can I do some accounting work out of our house? I really need to contribute to our household financially, but I can't leave Brody.
Right.
So, so when the products and the business came along, and because of everything I had already previously been through, I never told myself I can't. Like, I said, why not? And I sometimes feel like that attitude is infectious. Yeah. So I was excited about these products. I was excited about this business. I was passionate about both. And I was being sincere and I was being true. And I think people could see that. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's how and why I'm not posting on Facebook. I'm an open book, and I was before Plexus came along. Mm-hmm. So I think that was really helpful for me. But I think my passion for the business and for the products just was infectious. And people, like I said, you know, I had a sense of influence over people already just because of, you know, the kind of person that I am. To a fault sometimes. I'm a codependent person. Mm-hmm. I want to help people. I want to solve people's problems. And then Brody came along and, you know, we started his foundation because I want to help people. So that's just who I was. So I think that just, you know, I had that, you know, as an advantage for me personally. But I just think that anybody can do this business because everyone has some sort of strength that they can grow from. You know, you find your strength and you just build on that.
So tell me this, I haven't asked anybody this question. So like when you found Plexus, you joined your friend, what was that moment like? What clicked for you and you were like, this is it? Like these products, this business, this is it.
Okay, so I'll tell you, yes, I did need this business because I had prayed for something financially to help my family. I did not think it was going to be this. I thought that someone was going to come to me and say, Christine, can you do our books at home? Like you can work when you want. You can make your own schedule. You don't have to worry about anything. Never, ever, ever in a million years did I think it was going to be direct sales, network marketing. That was nothing that ever was attractive to me.
Right.
I did not want to do parties. I did not want to hold inventory. But when I started feeling so good within just a few, honestly, I felt good the first day. I'm going to be really honest. The first thing I noticed was that I was fuller. Okay, I didn't finish my meal.
Mhm.
And as the couple of weeks went on, I just felt so good and I had energy because I had felt so bad.
Yeah.
So my
Mhm.
good could have been someone else's really bad.
Right.
But because I felt so good, I didn't have any income,
Mhm.
my own income, or you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Totally. Totally.
I needed to be able to afford these products.
Yeah.
So I hopped on as wholesale. And I never told myself that I can't find three people to sell these products to so that I could cover the cost of
Mhm.
my own products.
Mhm.
So although I didn't intend on having a huge business, I did intend on having a small one, I guess, just to cover my own cost. But
Yeah.
I knew in the back of my mind um, once I kind of caught, caught the vision myself, I just, there was no holding me back. My belief in myself, I just knew I could do it.
Mhm.
So, um, first finding those first three customers just to get my own products paid for was what did it for me. Feeling good and finding those first customers, and that happened very quickly for me. But then seeing the compensation plan and realizing, why can't I do this? I can do this, and this is what I guess I was looking for, and God just supposed to put it in my lap. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
What a blessing, right? I say
And the
that all
thing
the
is,
time.
I didn't even know Amy. I mean,
Okay. So I was going to ask you that. So you joined Amy. You guys knew each other. How?
when Brody was born, I reached out to the NDSS and they helped us get Brody's foundation up and running.
Okay.
And the girl just happened to connect me and said, I think that, this girl would be a good person for you to connect with on Facebook. Just start following her. And she's inspiring, as far, because I was in a bad place at first when Brody was born.
Yeah.
So I just started following Amy on Facebook and we really had no connections. She wasn't following me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
following.
You were following her.
Yeah. Um, so, and I had so many health issues in those, 4 years that when she posted about this, I was like, well, I've tried everything else. I might as well
Yeah.
try this. So, I mean, it's for our little perfect extra, our little
Yeah.
angels on earth here. Otherwise, I don't know. I would have never met her.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? Tom and I were just talking about that. This weekend, we were like, because we're planning a trip to Africa because we sponsor this
Oh my God.
child in Africa. And it's like, in a million years, when Grace was born, or we got that diagnosis, did we ever think we were going to be going to Africa because of her? Because everything, we're so blessed that we have this network
Yeah.
because of our children. We really are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So sometime in the 14 months that it took you to get to Sapphire, which I've been with Flexus for 14 months right now, so I'm like, oh my gosh. But everybody's journey is different, and but at any time in that 14 months before you got to Sapphire, did your business slow down, and what did you do? What did you do to re-energize it? If that even happened in 14 months. I mean, it had to sometime.
It slowed down, honestly, probably right around when I hit Sapphire, to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of different components, I think, that added to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which was such a huge to have this job and be able to have a baby and still work.
Right.
And I was very sick. I got really sick after Bailey. So things kind of slowed down for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't even supposed to be using the computer for 6 months, but I did. So I couldn't put in
Right.
as I probably could have, or
Mm-hmm.
would have otherwise.
Right.
But I also had to refocus because again, as I said in the beginning, I was kind of at a level 4 in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And I was recruiting, but I was not recruiting leaders. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I had to learn. Everything happened so fast that I didn't realize I really was a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
I had to go back and kind of refocus and learn how to be the leader that I wanted to be for these thousands of people that were on my team, because I didn't
Right.
know what I was doing.
Right.
Um, so I had to refocus. I had to get, manage my time better. I had to become a little bit more organized. I cannot tell you, I don't know how I did it, but for
Mhm.
for the first year and a half, I used my phone as
Mhm.
for my notes and my calendar. I don't know how I did it because now I have this beautiful planner from Plexus. And my husband always told me, you just get a legal pad, just get something and start writing stuff down. Um, but it wasn't, even being an accountant, it just wasn't me to just,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, so I had to get more organized. And then I
Right.
had to grow. I'd done so much personal growth and development over those 20 something years of my life,
Yeah.
but none of it. Like, I didn't know who John Maxwell was. I didn't know
Mhm.
who Eric Worre was. I started this business. I didn't read Rock Your Network Marketing Business. I didn't read the Four Color Personalities.
Mhm.
And now, not only did I not read those, but I certainly had not read any John Maxwell.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and I still do this. When I feel like things are slowing down, I need to pick up that Sarah
Yeah.
Robbins book and I need to get remotivated and I need to retrain myself on
Yeah.
the basics and what I need to be doing,
Mhm.
on top of learning how to be the leader that my team needs.
Mhm.
So, and I
I
needed to,
think that's so true. Just on that, like every time I second guess myself, I go there too. I have this long commute to get my kids, so I I'll listen to music some, and then I'll notice that I'm off, and it's like, okay,
right.
Eric Worre, tell me what I'm doing wrong.
I started using, probably around that time, same thing with me. I don't listen to music in the car anymore. I just
Right.
listen to like YouTube videos, podcasts,
Mhm.
or like Joel Osteen. I do lots of
Mhm.
personal growth and
Yes,
development.
huge Joel Osteen over here. I listened to him this morning.
Yeah, I listen to him constantly. And when I do listen to music, it's a different kind of music.
Right.
I listen to more, um, and everybody's different. But for
You're right.
me, I listen to a lot of worship music that helps me to build belief in myself.
Mhm.
And I was going to say one other thing. I also obviously, needed to, at that point, although I was friends with Kathleen, and she was a rock star, um, and I knew Aaron and even Amy, things just exploded so quickly for me.
Mhm.
And I had so many changes in my life with Plexus just exploding and then having a baby and
Mhm.
coming close to dying and recovering from that. So much
Mhm.
happened in those 14 months that I
Mhm.
had never really built the personal relationships with the leaders on my team that I
Mhm.
needed to build.
Mhm.
So I've taken a lot of time since then to do that.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
important,
so
right?
important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's true. And I think that anytime the momentum is going, we sometimes forget to take care of each other. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
just a natural human instinct.
Yeah.
We're just like, go, 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 go. Yet
Yeah.
we forget about our foundation. It's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So so your favorite, so if you were to suggest 3 personal development people, who would they be that are your favorites?
People or books or what do you mean?
Yeah, well, either one really.
Um, well, I mean, John Maxwell is amazing.
Right.
Sometimes for me to listen to him, like I can not only do that. I love watching him on Facebook because I would rather, I mean, not Facebook, on YouTube because
Yeah,
I would rather watch him.
right.
Okay, so, him, I love Les Brown.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome.
I love Joel Osteen. I
Yeah.
mean, he
No,
just,
I do.
I feel like he's changed my life,
I
honestly.
know, me too. That's so funny. So we're kind of alike then, because I can't believe that. I always tell people that are open
Mhm.
that Plexus and Joel Olstein are like a beautiful combination, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your body's feeling better. And my husband found him a year ago and started listening. He's like, I know you're going to think this is crazy, but you got to listen to this guy. And I make my kids listen back and forth to Michigan and stuff. And this morning on the way to school, I know it's going in there, and
Absolutely.
it's all about confidence and believing in yourself and believing that God wants you to be successful. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's really the
I
key,
do the
right?
exact same thing. Yeah. I mean, Brody knows, he can recognize his voice,
Right.
without even seeing the channel on on the
Yeah.
radio. It's crazy. But yeah, so, I think those three are big for different reasons. I learned so much from John Maxwell. I'm motivated so much from Les Brown. And Joel Osteen has just helped me grow. I've been on this spiritual journey since I was
Right.
20. And so he's just part of it and has just brought me to a new level. But he's just, so I have John Maxwell for, education, a lot of education, motivation from Les Brown, and Joel Osteen is just part of my helping me grow spiritually and, emotionally.
Right.
And just
Like total body.
total body, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you could go back and tell that new ambassador yourself, I mean, obviously not everybody explodes out of the water, right? When they start, everybody's journey is different. So if you were to go back to that person before you knew if you were going to explode or not explode, right? Or if it was going to be like a longer journey, what would you tell, like, what are some of your key tips that you would tell that person?
Well, honestly, again, I'm totally not trying to sound conceited by any means. Obviously, one thing that I did not do was build those relationships that I needed to build. So I would do that from the beginning. That's one thing that I've learned and I try to do now from the very beginning.
Right.
But I would also I would do what I did, which is believe in myself and tell myself, why can't you?
Right.
Does that make sense? Like,
yes,
not you can't, but why can you not? It was what I did, and just not see a limit.
Right.
I didn't see a wall. I didn't see a limit. Because for me, I wasn't looking. I didn't really think. I knew that it could happen. I knew that Reach being a jewel and earning that Lexus, and it was definitely an attainable goal for me. But when I started saying, why can't you? I started saying, why can't you get, of course you can. You can get 3 customers. You can get 3 ambassadors. Why can't you? You can earn $500 a month. You can earn $1,000 a month. Why can't you?
Yeah.
So, although I had that long-term vision, I still kind of focused on the next goal.
Yeah.
So, I would tell people, tell myself, maybe I should have focused. Maybe I would be diamond by now. Who knows? But, what's meant to be is meant to be. And I'm blessed to be where I am.
Right.
But some people walk in and they say, I'm going to be diamond in a certain amount of time. Maybe I should have said that to myself. But for me, I really wouldn't do anything different other than building those relationships early on.
Right.
But again, for me, I was in a different position. We didn't have the tools that we have now. When you click join, we didn't have the tools that we have. So I spent a lot of time learning. We had to teach ourselves. And I built a relationship with Amy because we were growing together. But as far as people joining, they were joining like crazy. It was hard for me to keep up.
So I should say this because it is a different time. You're right. 4 years ago to now, Implexus is a completely different company, right? Yeah. So if that new ambassador that signs today on your anniversary joins Plexus, right? What would you say, like two things out of the gates, probably that you tell your new ambassadors now? These are the 2 things that will really help you succeed. Obviously they have to have that belief already and want to succeed, but these 2 things will really will nurture that.
Be consistent and patient. And I've said this, you have to be consistent with the products and with your business. You can't just stop taking the products. People are watching you. And you can't stop posting and sharing because people are watching you. You're leading by example, and be patient because things don't happen overnight. You're not going to see the changes or feel the changes within yourself overnight. And you're not going to see, we're not going to become rich and out of debt overnight either. So I think consistency and patience are the 2 most important, things, whether it's in regards to customers or ambassadors or both. just being,
Yeah.
and I think that's so important with anything in life, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Totally.
not just, even with just anything. You can't go to the gym and think something's going to happen overnight. You
Hmm.
you can't, go through a divorce or something in your personal life and say, I'm gonna change, and that's not gonna happen in my next relationship. You have to work at that. You have to
Yeah.
work at that every single day. So
Yeah.
that's why they say, like, nothing worth, waiting for.
Hmm.
It all takes work, right?
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
takes work and patience and consistency. So that's what
Yeah.
I try to
It's
tell
so
everyone.
true. I love the Eric Worre thing when he always talks about average. And he's like, people ask me all the time, what's the average person in network marketing make? And he's like, I tell them nothing. I just did a Facebook Live for my team on this because it sticks in my mind all the time. It's like patience and consistency are really the basis of everything. And perseverance, just not giving up,
Right.
is half the battle. And then working to be better than average, which is consistency, patience, and really.
I look at my business and I look at my team, and there were a couple of times in the past 4 years that I really could have just curled up and just said, forget it. My husband has a good job.
Hmm.
We are blessed. I can't do this. I'm not in the same position I was, but I
Right.
didn't do that. And it's so easy to do that.
It is
But
easy. Yeah.
when your team sees you give up, your team is going to give up.
Hmm.
When someone who needs these products and has been contemplating them and watches your posts, but you don't know they're watching you, all of a sudden you stop posting for a
Hmm.
week or a month. They're
Hmm.
gonna be like, oh, well, I guess,
Told you.
yeah, told you so. I guess these products are fake. I guess this business really is a scam. So
Yep.
especially when your team,
Yeah.
there's so much truth to when we say the speed of the leader is the speed of the team.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I agree.
If you take a break for really, you can't take a break even for a couple days. You
Hmm.
can't post something and let your team know that you're there. I'm
Yeah.
still here. I'm practicing that. I may be practicing that financial time freedom right now, but I'm still
Yeah.
here.
Right.
So they have to see you. You have to be present.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just
I love that. You're such a sweet lady, I'm telling you. And all that you do for our team, and I was telling Kathleen that, and Aaron, and all of you as a group, I mean, really, the stuff you put through to Gold Diggers, like, we recognize all the work that you are, because that's not easy what you guys do every day. So thank you for motivating the entire team, and that is truly the one plexus, that's what makes this company special. Yeah, really.
I think we motivate
Absolutely.
each other, and we learn from each other. You never ever stop learning.
Right.
Never.
Right.
I think that's the one thing that John Maxwell says. When you stop learning, you stop growing. You never stop learning. You never stop growing. That's what a leader is.
It's true. Yeah.
It's really important. But
And I can't imagine at this point in my life, even, letting my brain go sedentary, I mean, my husband's getting ready to retire. It's just kind of where he's at in his career, and he doesn't know what's next, and I'm like, here's the deal. You have to get uncomfortable, and that's where we all grow. We grow through being uncomfortable. So, it's uncomfortable, but good things come from it.
yeah, it absolutely is. And that's what I try to teach people, and I think that all of 7 of us, in that group, we don't ask anything of anyone that we haven't done ourselves.
Right.
Just last week, I went live on Facebook, and I used to be so comfortable with that. I can talk in front of people. We have meetings all the time. I speak raw down to them all the time. I have no problem with that. But for some, once you get out of the habit of it, and I had been doing live videos for a while there also,
Right.
and I got out of the habit of it, and I asked, our team to do that last week.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm asking them to do it, I need to do it myself. They need to see that I'm doing this too. And I
Yeah.
had a bit of butterflies and stuff, but I did it, and you just,
Yeah.
you can't ask someone to do something that you're
Yeah.
not doing.
That you're not going to do. Yeah.
And that's how we grow.
Lot of truth there. And that accountability group is phenomenal.
Thanks.
Phenomenal. I mean, really, it's almost like dot to dot, you know, follow the dots, guys. And it's totally opened. I wish I would have thought of it. It's fantastic. I mean, who knew that, you know, and you guys are such a great group to really bring that forward. So good work. Awesome. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here. So I'm going to hit the end of record. Whoops. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can recording and stop. Awesome.